They didn't just charge from the fog with axes raised. Before the first Viking raid ever struck England, there was silence. Every terrifying raid began not with blood, but with planning. Because behind the chaos was calculation. The year 790 AD. Northern Europe was restless, divided, and hungry for power. But far to the north, across icy seas, a new people were rising. The Norse, fierce, proud, and bound by kinship. To them, survival meant more than strength. It meant strategy. Scandinavia was harsh. Short summers, brutal winters, thin soil. You either adapted or vanished. That struggle forged thinkers as much as warriors. They learned to read the wind and memorize coastlines like maps. Survival was practice for something greater, raiding. So why did they raid? Greed? Glory? The truth was simpler and more human. Their homeland lacked silver, but overflowed with ambition. Europe, meanwhile, was rich and divided. They saw weakness and opportunity. News of soft, unguarded treasures spread like wildfire. But before striking, they watched, listened, and waited. Planning raids wasn't reckless, it was calculated. It began with local leaders, smart, cautious, ambitious. They mapped coastlines from sailors' tales, not charts. Measured distance not in miles, but days of rowing. They tested ships before risking their crews. Their greatest invention, the longship. It could cross oceans or slip up shallow rivers unnoticed. That meant surprise. That meant power. They could appear where no army expected them. Then vanish before the alarm spread. But the sea wasn't their only ally. It was their network. Vikings were also traders, and traders were spies. They listened for rumors, prices, defenses, weaknesses. Each raid target was chosen with precision. Long before they sailed, the data was gathered. When a target was certain, councils were held. Men weighed odds, ships, and seasons. This wasn't chaos. It was a meeting of tacticians. They trained together to move as one body. One mistake, and a ship could capsize. Even courage was practiced. But planning didn't end with men. It included gods. They believed wisdom came from Odin, strength from Thor. Every ritual before sailing sharpened their will. Then came the dawn. Time to act.
The air was still, the world holding its breath.
Ships moved out, ghosts across the sea.
No banners, no noise, only intent.
Their destination, an island monastery called Lindisfarne. Peaceful, rich, and completely unguarded. They'd studied it for months before striking. And when the tide was right, they came. The raid of 793 AD shook Europe awake.
To monks, it was horror. To Vikings, proof.
Their plan worked beyond imagination. Wealth, fame, and fear, all earned through precision. From that moment, they didn't just raid, they expanded. Each attack refined their strategy further. They learned who paid ransom, who resisted, who fell.
Raids became invasions. Invasions became settlements.
It all began with that first plan, drawn in dirt. Modern stories show them as wild berserkers. But the truth was far sharper. They were engineers, navigators, and thinkers.
They didn't just ride storms, they planned them.
Their raids reshaped medieval Europe forever. They forced others to unite, build armies, evolve. Unknowingly, they helped create the modern West. Their real legacy wasn't destruction, it was innovation. Because true power belongs to planners, not just fighters. From icy fjords to England's green shores, every conquest began with a whisper in the dark. You can still hear their oars cutting through history. From chaos came method. From survival, conquest. They didn't hope for victory, they designed it. Generations later, Europe still bore their mark. The world learned to fear them, but also to imitate them. And that's how the Viking Age became unstoppable. Because every legend starts with a plan. If this story changed how you see Vikings, stay aboard. Subscribe and keep discovering history's hidden minds.